Well, here we are, guys. Finally behind the wheel of the all-new 2023 Civic Type R. I know you guys have probably been anxiously awaiting to see this on our channel since we posted the part 1 of our review a few days ago, but I'm excited to show you what the Civic Type R can do on the road, because the day has finally come that we can show you, and you're not going to want to miss out. So let's go ahead and hop into that.
You heard us mention this earlier, but this is the most powerful production Honda that they've ever sold in America. And we do have indeed more power than the last generation. So what we have is a revised version of that 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that it had last model year. We're going to be making 315 horsepower this time around and 310 pound-feet of torque, excuse me. As you can tell, though, that is plenty of power for a small vehicle like this.
Nice. So as you can tell, certainly a lot of fun. I do apologize. Hopefully you're able to hear what we're saying. This road is very rough. Certainly we're trying to take some back roads so we can fully enjoy the Civic Type R drive, but that doesn't mean they're very rough. But from that acceleration, we're looking at a mid 5 second, maybe even about 5 seconds 0 to 60, depending on how good you are at accelerating. This thing is certainly very quick. So if you're curious, that's up 9 horsepower from the previous generation Type R and up 15 pound-feet of torque. And if you're doing the math, it's 157.8 pound-feet, or 157.8 horsepower per liter.
Now let's talk about the shifter, because this is one of the best aspects about really any Honda manual, but especially the Type R, because they put the best effort they possibly can into these shifters, and oh my goodness, they feel so great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a shifter. It's hard to even explain. It's just so rewarding.
Yeah.
Short throw, of course. You've got the aluminum top to this. They've revised the structure to make it even better this year. You get that, just like I said, the wonderful clicking sensation. They revised the pattern to make it flow better. You probably thought they couldn't improve on it, but they have improved on it.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah, I would go as far to say as this is the best manual transmission car that I've driven. Now, I'm only 21. I haven't had that much experience with a bunch of manual transmissions, but I'd say this is definitely the best manual transmission car we've ever driven. I would say that's certainly worth saying. And it is improved over the SI, which we drove about a year ago. We drove the SI, and it certainly is very, very impressive. They have even improved the downshift rev matching system. Guys, this is the chief engineer for Civic Type R, so we're having the unique opportunity to actually ride along with the chief engineer of Type R and a lot of other cool Hondas. So,
okay.
Yeah, we're all good.
Shall we go?
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, the brakes.
Okay.
Wow.
Slow down.
Whew, you've designed a very impressive car.
Yes. Are you enjoy?
I am, and very much enjoying.
Amazing.
Wow, you are an excellent driver, and this is
Thank
an
you.
amazing car.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We drove it earlier. I definitely was not pushing it quite that
Not
hard.
even a tenth.
No. Well, certainly appreciate you coming all the way from Japan to give us this awesome opportunity. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, here we are back in the Civic Type R Street Drive Part 2. We wanted to make sure we had a nice area to street drive, so we kind of just stopped it because we kind of came into a city area. We wanted to make sure we had a really nice area to just talk about how good this Type R drives. Now, by this point in the video, you might have seen our track drive, our hot lap, all of those things. This is certainly a beast to drive when it comes to the dynamics. It's kind of even hard to put it in words how good this Type R is. And we need to talk about some of the other elements as well, the just general ride quality, how it drives on the street, all of those good things that you might be curious about if you're looking to purchase a Type R. Is it just a track beast, or is it more than that?
One of the things that should be talked about right off the bat here on this curvy road is the handling and the steering.
Yeah.
Both of which are fantastic. So the structure of this new model is significantly stiffer than the outgoing generation, and they've also retuned the suspension as well as the adaptive dampers. All that together really just makes this vehicle feel like it's on rails. When you go around corners, you have essentially zero body roll whatsoever. That's especially true when you're out, driving on a regular road like we are, but even when you're out on the track, pushing this to its very limits, it really just feels so buttoned down, so tight. Very, very impressed by that aspect of it. And of course, Honda's very good with how they tune their steering setups, and lightning fast as well. You can see the tiniest off center, you get that immediate and very quick, very pronounced response. Altogether, this really just cements this in as an enthusiast vehicle. I mean, you expected these things from a Type R, and I'm happy to say this new generation does not compromise on any of those things in any way.
Oh no. I mean, hands down, the Civic Type R is one of the best driving vehicles. It's probably in the top 3 best driving vehicles I've ever driven personally, which certainly is an accomplishment. I mean, it just, like Drew said, it is glued to the road, and it has the most immediate response. And also one of the things that I want to point out is that this Type R is confidence inspiring. When you get into a vehicle like this, you might almost be a little bit intimidated because it has so much prowess, it has so much capability. But when you get in and start driving it, all of that intimidation just fades away. This is certainly a car that you feel comfortable with as soon as you get behind the wheel. You shift a few gears on the lovely manual transmission, and you're like, I'm at home. And certainly, one other thing I want to mention are these seats, because we've driven the Type R for hours today. I mean, we've done very extensive driving, really soaking up the experience, and the seats are fantastic. Honda says that they've made them very supportive, of course, while you're on the track and doing sporty stuff, but they are also incredibly comfortable. I mean, what do you think about the seats? I mean, these are quite nice.
Yeah, we've driven this several hours at this point, and I've not been tired. And that's despite the fact that, as you would probably expect, the ride quality is definitely on the firmer side of things.
Oh, yeah.
If you're, like we said, you have adaptive dampers, so it is somewhat in your control. Comfort mode is certainly no S-Class, though. It's definitely better for out on the highway and in the city with, potholes and stuff if you're not driving aggressively. But if you put it in the Plus R mode, that is going to make things very, very firm. To the point of while you have basically zero body roll, it's also quite jittery if you're not on a perfect surface. Nice.
Yeah, and as you can tell by that, we do have downshift rev matching on this Civic Type R. So that certainly enhances the manual driving experience, because you don't have to do the heel-toe clicking thing to make sure your transition and downshift is real smooth. The car really does it for you, and it does a much better job than I would ever be able to do. So I certainly enjoy it, and they have even improved it for Type R duty. Yeah, it certainly just makes it very, very rewarding to go through all of these 6 speeds every time.
One other thing that's a very signature element of the Type R is, of course, that it is a front-wheel drive based vehicle, but you almost don't even notice because the limited slip diff on this is really, really good. It really gets the power down to the ground. It does it in such a way that you don't really have torque steer or anything like that. It's just really well managed. And of course, you're putting down quite a lot of power and quite a lot of torque to this front wheel, so it's really necessary to manage it well for that overall driving experience. And going full out on the track, I can certainly say they've done a fantastic job in that regard.
Oh yeah.
Let's also discuss the fuel economy as well, since we haven't mentioned that practical element. It's going to be rated at 22 city, 28 highway, 24 combined, and Honda is recommending premium fuel for maximum performance. Let's go ahead and talk about today's slam dunk and airball. I'll start off with the slam dunk. I'm not going to go into a ton of rambling about this. It's just going to be the overall driving experience. We've said a lot of positive things about this, and that's because this vehicle really it's impresses. Yeah. I mean, 10 years ago, front-wheel drive vehicles could not do these types of things that this Civic does with ease these days.
Yeah. And as far as our airball is concerned, one thing that slightly disappoints me is the exhaust note. Now, that's not at all saying that the exhaust note is bad in this vehicle. It sounds good, and especially as you rev out the motor and the active valves pop open and really let out the maximum sound, it does get better. But that said, some of this vehicle's competition does sound better. Namely, I think one of the main competitors that I've driven, the Elantra N, sounds quite a bit better, and it also costs about $10,000 less than the Civic Type R. So I really would like for Honda to maybe work on the theatrics of the exhaust system and make sure that we can really fully enjoy the exhaust.
Yeah, some pops and crackles here and there would be extra fun. Now, Mason did already allude to the pricing of this vehicle a little bit, and that is an important element that I want to discuss, because it is a good deal more expensive than the previous generation. So the starting MSRP for the Type R this year is going to be $42,895, which is about $5,000 more expensive than the previous generation model, and about $15,000 more expensive than a Civic Si. Now, of course, you're pretty much getting a fully equipped model. There's really nothing else that you can add besides some dealer accessories and upcharge paint color. Today's example does have the Championship White, which is a $395 charge. And with the $1,095 destination, our total price, as tested, is going to be $44,385.
Well, guys, here we are in the all-new Civic Type R at iconic Sonoma Raceway, and I'm certainly very excited to show you what this Type R is all about on the racetrack. We will have a street drive in the video as well, so you can have both perspectives, street drive as well as on the track. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. This is incredible, guys. This is so much fun. I know I'm not talking much, but I'm just trying to enjoy the experience and show you what this Civic Type R is all about at the track. And let me just tell you, It is a lot of fun, guys. Wow. I mean, it is really fun to drive on the street, but it comes alive on the track. Oh my goodness, guys. This is incredible. Wow. So much fun. I mean, the steering is absolutely impeccable. And to be able to drive this car at such an iconic raceway. Wow. I mean, the grip is incredible. Now, what we have on this particular vehicle are Cup 2 performance tires. So this is really just designed for the track. Well, guys, that wraps up our track drive of the Civic Type R. Holy moly, that was a lot of fun. We will also be doing a hot lap with a professional driver. I'm far from a professional, that's for sure, so you will be able to see all of what the Civic Type R has to offer. I mean, certainly it's so much fun, even for a very inexperienced track driver like myself. So you can have a blast in this all-new Civic Type R. Well, guys, we're here in California, stuck in a little bit of a traffic jam, but I want to just conclude this video by saying we've driven this car from 8:30 in the morning until 4 o'clock p.m., so many hours at this point, and I have to say, I'm still just having a ball. I would happily drive this car the rest of the night if Honda didn't request me bring it back, because it is just so much fun. This is the first time we've gone behind the wheel of the Civic Type R. We never drove the previous generation, and I really didn't know what to expect. I knew that it had gotten positive reviews, but it really has just exceeded all of my expectations. This thing is truly a driver's car, and it's a driver's car that people can actually afford. Yes, $44,000 isn't cheap, but for the level of performance you're getting here, it is pretty much unrivaled.